Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to all the iTrack fan, man, tapping in like you always do. Huge shout out to all the members, man. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fan, man. Stay up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the internet. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
What is it with CEOs and executives and catastrophes like this one? A family of 5 went down in a helicopter in the Hudson River in New York. Now, this guy was the global CEO of rail infrastructure at the tech company Siemens. Now, this is not a conspiracy, but I do have some questions though. They said this crash was due to mechanical failure when the propellers came completely off. And this trip was done by tourist company New York Helicopters, and this was the 6th trip of the day. Reports also say that the pilot radioed into ground control because of low fuel, so they're gonna land to get more fuel shortly after takeoff. So no inspection, no fuel, and who is that? Because that's not the pilot. Actually, the pilot was Navy SEAL veteran Sean Johnson, so we can rule out DEI on this one. Now, being that he was at Siemens, let's take a look at recent activity, shall we? Siemens boosting investments by more than $10 billion for American manufacturing jobs, software, and AI infrastructure. BlackRock increases their stake in Siemens by over 5%, giving them more voting power on the board. Interesting. I just find it funny that every executive or CEO dealing with a catastrophe in the last 6 to 8 months, BlackRock had a stake in those companies. Not to mention, just late last year, Siemens was just found guilty for wire fraud against GE and Mitsubishi. It doesn't stop there. Also late last year, Siemens pled guilty to stealing confidential competitor information and settled for $104 million. They even got sued back in 2020 and had to pony up $89 million to a city in Mississippi over water meter mismanagement. Seems to be a lot of corruption going on. So the question is, what else did he know, being that they have a long laundry list of crimes and maybe they didn't want something to get out? Now, his whole bloodline just got wiped out in this crash, so he has no successors. So what's in his will? How much stock does he have? Where does his money go now? Seems like we have more questions than answers now, but what do you guys think is happening? Let me know below.
It kind of makes you feel like you need a flight manifesto for every flight you hop on so that you're not next to any kind of important person or, major CEO of any kind of publicly traded company, because it might not be a safe flight in that case. Let me know what you think, though.
Car runs out of fuel, the wheels don't fall off. So explain to me how, if a helicopter runs out of fuel, the rotor falls off. In case you missed it, Michael Roth, who is the owner of New York Helicopters, said prior to the crash, the pilot, quote, called in that he was landing because he needed fuel. It should have taken him about 3 minutes to arrive, but 20 minutes later, he didn't arrive. I'm sorry, this just sounds strange. It was a short sightseeing flight on the 6th flight of the day. So if you know you needed fuel, why would you take off? Also, it said as soon as the crash happened, the owner of the helicopter completely scrubbed his social media, literally removed his website and all social media accounts from the internet. And if you aren't aware of what happened yesterday, a high-profile tech exec, his wife, their 3 young children, and the pilot crashed into the Hudson, killing all of them. The family, who's from Spain, was visiting New York to celebrate one of their children's birthday. Witnesses say, seemingly out of nowhere, the helicopter started falling apart and then fell straight into the Hudson. It's reported that 4 of the victims died upon impact and 2 died at the hospital.
What they recorded has left TikTok buzzing.
Talking to the camera. The child wants help. What child wants help?
Amid the crackling static, a distinct female voice suddenly emerges, clearly stating the name, Edna.
Edna? Okay, can you tell Edna to come to the panel and speak with me, please? Suspect?
Shocked by this clear response, the investigators quickly follow up, asking Edna what message she wants to share. Without hesitation, the same voice cuts through again, distinctly uttering the chilling phrase, "They hide the truth."
When you grab my hand,
They hide the truth.
There's a lot of speculation there's gonna be a really big tsunami.
Yeah, see, there's some shit happening.
There's a prophet, Ryo Tsuki. She made all of these different prophecies and they all came true. One of them being one day there's gonna be a virus, a pandemic.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna go into quarantine. That's happened.
Yeah.
She said it's gonna disappear and come back though in 2030. So that's one of the prophecies she made.
Okay,
one of the
okay.
predictions.
Yeah.
But another one is she predicts in July of 2025.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go to the Philippines, fam. I wanted to go to Japan this year.
That's in 3 months.
In July, yeah. But this prediction is for July 2025. A huge tsunami is gonna hit Asia, specifically around Japan and Philippines area.
Oh my God.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But the things that she predicted, yo, if she's right,
Nobody respects you because you're an option. People only respect what's unavoidable. You have to respect the waves in the ocean. You respect them or they eat you alive. True power is not about being noticed, it's about being impossible to ignore. This is day 8 of the path to power. Power is about control over attention. The world doesn't care about what's good, it only acknowledges what's constant, present, and dominant. The ones who control their space do not just wait for the world to notice them, they make sure the world has no other choice. Apple didn't just make a phone, they made it impossible for you to not carry one. So how do you become inevitable? Stop asking for attention, take it. Saturate every corner of your audience's life, be so consistent, so ever-present, that ignoring you feels impossible. Don't give people options, frame yourself as the only logical choice, the only answer. Become so crucial to their existence that not following you would hurt more than following. Control attention and you control the game.
Now, for those that are running a business, he was dropping some real gems you might want to pick up.
This is the eerie moment terrified Russians shoot at mysterious UFO helicopter darting over Moscow. The ominous drone was blasted by paranoid Russian air defenses as they suffered a separate drone strike early on Thursday. Sinister footage shows a strange rotating object spinning over the Moscow region. It has a red center and is surrounded by a spinning white circular shell. Some suspected the red and white spinning aircraft was one of Ukraine's new RZ-500 helicopter drones. However, the RZ-500 has a maximum range of 186 miles, which is not far enough to reach Moscow. What do you think the strange device is?
A lot of people use Dion Fortune's distinction between the occultist and the mystic. And I think she lumped some things together because there are actually 3 paths. There's the magician, the occultist, and the mystic. Okay, the magician works primarily with ritual, and his keynote is power. He's working with power. He's developing power. He's doing things with power. That's a very risky path. It can be enormously successful. It can be enormously self-destructive. The mystic path, its basic tool is prayer, and its keynote is love. Love for the divine, love for God, if you want to use that term, or for the gods, depending on your faith. But then there's the way of the occultist, and the occultist uses meditation as his primary practice, and his goal is wisdom.
CIA is essentially a corporate-founded organization whose job is to overthrow governments, to fix elections and overthrow governments, right? And most people think of the CIA as like an intelligence gathering agency because that's what it was supposed to do.
That's the name.
Exactly. Like they're supposed to get us information about all the threats to America. But what they actually do, like their very first mission was to go and overthrow the government of Italy. And what they basically did is they just sent a bunch of dudes with duffel bags full of cash into Italy back like right after World War II to buy out the Italian election. And it worked.
A mysterious triangular tower at Area 51 has been discovered on Google Maps, and people are speculating it could be alien technology. The imposing sci-fi-worthy structure about 80 miles northwest of Las Vegas is circulating online after being spotted on Google Maps. On social media, people have compared it to a skyscraper, an exhaust vent, and even a Dyson air purifier. But its location at Area 51 is leading conspiracy theorists to speculate that it is somehow involved in alien contact. After a shot of the tower was posted online, one user said, "It's where the aliens test their various white powders." Someone else posted, "Obviously alien technology. It pops out when the Earth is done." Facebook users also joked about the identity of the tower, with one person calling it a new version of Jenga, the popular British board game. Yet another said, "The aliens are like, we can help you out, but we can't work in those square things you humans work in. We need our tall triangle-shaped building." Do you think aliens are among us?
I mean, they're definitely among us. But the real question is, are you able to tell when they're in your section?
1990s, Japan's new high-speed bullet trains ran into an unexpected problem. As they entered tunnels at high speeds, they pushed the air forward, compressing it inside and forcing it out the other side with a loud boom that disturbed nearby residents. One of the engineers, who also happened to be a birdwatcher, noticed how kingfishers dive into water with barely a splash because of their long, streamlined beak. So they redesigned the train's nose to mimic the kingfisher's shape, eliminating the tunnel boom. Some of the smartest things you can do is look to nature. The answers are already there. The Creator designed them long before we asked the question. If you want more valuable and useful content, follow Valor G.
Some of the smartest people on the internet have said the same exact thing. In fact, a lot of Terrence Howard's designs come from nature, right? And there's a lot more that agree on that principle.
That Justin Bieber, just like Michael Jackson, is engaged in a war against musical executives, except the musical executives have gotten smarter over time. He wants out of Hollywood. He does not care about the money. He wants out. It is the same war which was fought by Michael Jackson. It is the same war which was fought by Ye. Okay. You remember Ye going on rant talking about these contracts, which he said were predatory, contracts that artists could not get out of, contracts that artists signed when they were children, that they had no idea what these things meant. For example, they have no idea that if things go badly, they can't just go to the courts and resolve these issues publicly, because if the public can see what's going on in the courts and read the lawsuits, it changes things, right? Because we can read what Ryan and Blake and Justin Baldoni are saying, and we go, okay, well, there's a very clear winner in our imagination. I don't care how the press tries to spin it. Well, now these contracts are written so that these artists and these podcasters are forced to go into arbitration. And of course, if you're a child whose only person looking over your shoulder is your mother who had you when you were 16 years old, and you see the word arbitration, you have no idea what that means, what the context of that is. It means that it's private. It means that you have to go meet, and there's one person that gets to decide your fate, and gets to determine, one judge that gets to determine who's right and who's wrong. And of course, within LA and New York, we are learning more and more that these judges and these lawyers are in many times paid off, right? That especially within Hollywood, they own everything. Okay, I am talking about the agents, or in with the managers, or in with the judges, or in with the courtrooms. There is no way out for these artists.
Looks like if I get some good lighting here or something, yeah. So I was really just wanting to see what the whole big fuss was about with the mirrors and stuff, and how they were moving and the shapes were moving. I didn't even realize it until after I watched the video back of that right there. I didn't even see it while the video was being recorded. I went back and looked over it, and here it is in slow motion, and you can see the eyes. Boop.
Good job, Whisper. Whisper. Good job. That's not a whisper. You have to whisper.
Nope. You whisper bark. You go woof. Yeah, like that. Woof. Good job. That's a better one.
Can you protect me more quietly?
Whisper. That's opposite. No. Whisper.
Speak. Good girl. Whisper.
Good girl. Oh. Shh. No. No. Yes.
Yeah. Whisper.
Oh.
Whisper. Whisper.
I need to tell you something, but you gotta come here so I can whisper it to you.
You look like a potato.
Don't tooth this time.
You whisper. Quiet speak.
You feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
Understand that it is you who is responsible for being in the position that you're in.
Taking full accountability of your life with all of the deficiencies that you have may be the most painful thing that you do when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is my fault. In saying, this is my fault, those are also the first 2 steps of progress, because it's my fault, not anyone else's, which means it's my responsibility and my action that can change that.
Not anybody else. You can't be making excuses. It is you. You are the result of why you are here today.
Can you tell me about this
Yes.
inverted star right here?
Okay, I can. That's the Order of the Eastern Star, which is one of our ladies' groups. They're very, very large. They have both male and female members in it. The men have to be a Mason to join it. It's also one of those stars that causes people to think that we might be involved in devil worship, and we're not.
And Hiram was the Grand Master, right?
Hiram was on the other side up here, we have the chaplain. We open our meetings with a non-denominational prayer. We never say in the name of Jesus Christ at the end of our prayers. But the reason for that is because we have all religions represented in a lodge, and we're expecting that the God that they worship is who they're thinking of as we close that prayer.
So is there an amen at the end?
There is an amen.
Okay.
There is an amen.
But you're respecting the other faiths.
Yeah, and we would typically say something along the lines of, in thy holy name. And of course, when that happens, I'm thinking of Jesus Christ.
But somebody else might be thinking of the deity they worship.
Their deity they worship, yeah. Yes.
Can you tell us about this mode? Is that part of the decor?
So every lodge in this state has 2 pillars. They don't all have stairs, but these are representative of the 2 pillars on the porch at King Solomon's Temple.
And they have names, right?
They have names.
Yakim? Is that right? You tell me. I'm gonna get.
I actually can't.
You can't. Okay.
No, I actually can't. That's one of those. But they can be easily found.
It's called the friendship case. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's very hard to believe. Basically happened in 1956. There was these Italian men apparently found this map of this castle that was close to them. They got there and these 2, they said they looked like humans, but they weren't. One of them was 10 feet tall and the other one was 3 feet tall.
Stooges.
They were aliens. They went by W56. But apparently these alien people, they have these underground bases, they said. They've been here for centuries. They even have bases in the ocean. And their whole purpose of being on Earth is to save humanity from themselves, especially regarding nuclear bombs.
Yeah, fair.
But apparently there's 100 witnesses to these people. And there's photo evidence and video evidence of them showing them their flying saucers. But they said the only way that their technology works is if there is friendship and love.
What?
If we're not experiencing love within humanity or friendship or compassion, is that our technology doesn't work.
That's really cute.
They really did Lawrence Fishburne dirty on The Matrix 4. In case you forgot, Warner Brothers did in fact make a 4th Matrix movie back in 2021. Directed by Lana Wachowski, The Matrix Resurrections brought back Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. But Lawrence Fishburne was conspicuously absent from the movie. Instead, they reinvented his character of Morpheus and cast a younger actor, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. And now Fishburne is pulling back the curtain, explaining that it wasn't his choice. As he told The View last week, I offered my services to the 4th Matrix, and they didn't respond well to that. It's not like I didn't say I'd like to offer my services. I did, and for whatever reason, that didn't happen. And that's the truth. In 2021, Keanu Reeves told Unilad that Fishburne was replaced because, quote, it was just creatively where Lana wanted to go with the production and the story. Some believe The Matrix Resurrections had to reinvent Morpheus because the character died in the 2000s video game The Matrix Online. But I think they could have found a creative way to bring back Fishburne if they wanted to. In 2022, the actor told Variety that he did end up watching Matrix Resurrections, and he thought it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, and it wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. For what it's worth, the View host asked him if he'd be open to returning to the Matrix franchise, and Lawrence Fishburne says, we'll see. It depends on who is involved and how well the script has been written.
China is not playing with the United States, and honestly, I don't think we have the capability to win a trade war with them.
I was watching BBC and they had this man on there, and the anchor asked him, what's China going to do about all these tariffs, 125, 140 something percent? And he said, China has been around for 5,000 years, well before America, and China's going to be around for 5,000 years more. We'll adapt. And as soon as I was done watching that interview, I turned on TikTok and I saw this lady, and it looks like they're adapting pretty well. China is using their citizens to tell Americans on one of the biggest apps in America how to buy direct from supplier and skip the big name brand. All those brands you like are made in China and they come from Chinese suppliers. We're talking about Zara, Sephora. They had Lululemon on here. They had Stanley Cup. They had a bunch of different companies, and they have this algorithm. They know demographics. They know exactly who you are. Every other ad for me is big and tall clothes and Jordans. Straight Chinese suppliers. I honestly don't see a situation where America wins a trade war with a country like China.
I mean, it's just a little funny to me because I've always known about high-end brands being made in China, so I really didn't see the difference, you know? I didn't see the difference, but it's definitely causing a stir. A lot of people are conflicted. Do they want to pay the real price, or do they want to pay the inflated price, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you think about that.
Hello? Hello? 1, 2. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3. You can.
In December of 2018, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office issued a number of seemingly out-of-this-world patents to the Navy for a hybrid aerospace undersea craft, capable of extreme speeds in both water, the air, and in outer space. A true trans-medium military platform. Technologies such as, quote, a high-temperature superconductor, a high-frequency gravitational electromagnetic wave generator, a force field like electromagnetic field generator, a plasma compression fusion device. This aerospace vehicle utilizing the mentioned components would be able to achieve truly extraordinary feats of speed and maneuverability in all three mediums of air, water, and space. This sounds eerily similar to some of the established 5 observables of UFOs encountered by Navy pilots in recent years.
That sounds exactly like what we've been witnessing coming in and out of the ocean, right? None of this stuff is foreign. This is all man-made.
Do some ascended masters and archangels have social media? Yes, thank you. Is that because you're using me? Yes, thank you. Can we assign our own meaning to angel numbers with our spirit team? Yes, thank you. Are there more archangels than what is listed in Google? Yes, thank you. Does Archangel Metatron really exist? Yes, thank you. Is Enoch Metatron? Yes, thank you. Are archangels accessible to everyone regardless of their religion? Yes, thank you. If archangels are especially busy, does that mean they will provide less assistance to some people? No, thank you. Does every archangel have a human body at one point? Yes, thank you. Can humans have an archangel as their guardian angel? Yes, thank you. Can archangels track down who exactly the questions are from? Yes, thank you. Can the archangels help you clear and heal your chakras? Yes, thank you. Is Lucifer an archangel? Yes, thank you. Interesting. Is Jophiel generally considered female? Yes, thank you. Can an archangel be a seraphim at the same time? Yes, thank you.
Luciferian, globalistic. It requires Nephilim sex magic. And it requires the building up of iniquity, of iniquitous bloodlines and then you cash in on it. So what they'll do is they'll take a girl, abuse the snot out of her, have her get pregnant. She has a baby, and they have a second bloodline, third. At about the fourth generation, if they perform Nephilim sex magic and blood ritual abuse on that fourth generation, it's a sorcerous, powerful thing to them. And, you know, I didn't know anything about any of that. Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, dude, again, I'm from Joshua, Texas, and I'm just a guy that, hey, we have an opportunity to rescue kids, and we got an opportunity to do this. We got an opportunity to do that. And we started doing that, and we just started seeing it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like when we started coming across South Africans with the first name L. Really? All over the world. All over the world. And it's like, if you come across a child or a young woman or a young man that, like, what are you doing in Uganda? Why are you here? Well, somebody brought me here. I had to escape something. And their first name is L. El Sion. Can you think of any famous South Africans that their first name begins with EL? Like Elon?
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, that is all.
I didn't even think about that.
It's EL. So it's like on Stranger Things. What's that chick's name?
11.
Yeah, exactly right. And everybody calls her L.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now we're cooking.
Now, this whole thing is so real. And I've seen it all over the world. And I had nobody to talk to. Everybody's just like, what am I going to do? I mean, who am I going to go talk to about this, that? And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, man, you're tracking through the jungle and you got a machete. And then all of a sudden you come into a clearing and boom, there's all these other people there and you find your tribe. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an important breakthrough whenever you start to do that. It's the sinew forming on the mighty army. Can these dry bones live? The first thing that formed was the sinew. It was the connective pieces. It wasn't the heart. It wasn't a brain. It wasn't guts. It was sinews was the first one. That when you start to connect within the body, no matter how weird that is, it's when you start to raise up an arm.
Hey, now that's extra interesting on the account that Elon's nanny tried to really kind of explain what was going on with them at a young age. So this guy kind of giving us more to, piece together is interesting.
In a million and a billion, because I think in America, we don't even think about it. You just hear it and you're like, billionaire. Oh, he must be a billionaire. I'm sure Joe Rogan dude's got to be a fucking billionaire, dude. Here's the difference that people don't realize. 1 million seconds is how many days, would you guess?
I've done this before and I always forget it. 30 days.
That's a great guess, okay?
Is it?
It's 11 days. That's good. Oh. Most people are fucking way off. How many days is 1 billion seconds?
How many?
31 years.
And his name was Gerard Way. You know who that is?
No.
So it was a guy who was trying to deal with this, going to his therapist, and started creating music and came up with a band called My Chemical Romance.
Oh
right?
my gosh.
And then there's a girl named Stephanie Meyer.
No! Where are we going with this?
Wait for it. Who had listened to My Chemical Romance and was inspired by their music and started writing books that went on to become the Twilight series. Not even finished. Then there's somebody who read the Twilight series and started creating a fan fiction of it. His name was E.L. Wright, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I know where this one's going.
Yeah. And he went on to create a fan fiction from the Twilight series that somehow transformed into 50 Shades of Grey. So just as if
that's a double,
just as if like the 9/11
triple
wasn't
tragedy.
Yeah. Just as if it wasn't bad enough already.
I found something really weird about the 11-minute trip to space that happened today. So if you didn't know, the first all-female crew went to space today for a couple minutes. It included people like Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez, the fiance of Jeff Bezos. And watching from the bottom was Oprah Winfrey, Kris Jenner, Khloe Kardashian, a lot of celebrities involved with this. First of all, I want to talk about the outfits and the symbol in particular on the outfits. At first, it looks like just a rocket or a pod, whatever it is. But when you flip it upside down, it looks really interesting, almost like a symbol that we've seen before. And I'm not saying that this is anything demonic or anything like that, but I mean, the similarities, it's hard to ignore. I don't know who created the logo, but the outfits themselves were designed by Lauren Sanchez, and she collabed with the co-founders of Monse, which is a really popular brand. But anyway, here is a map of the flight that they took. It's done by Blue Origin, owned by Jeff Bezos. It's his company. And here are the timestamps. You can see exactly how it went down. It looks like they were in space for about 2 minutes, or the edge of space for about 2 minutes. And when they came out and landed, everyone was super emotional. I mean, Katy Perry coming out and she is kissing the ground, and there was a whole live stream going on when this was happening. You can also take a look here at what she said.
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
This one flew way under the radar. I had no clue they were sending people to the edge of Earth. That's interesting.
Royal divine bloodlines hold supernatural and telepathic powers, and these elite bloodlines continue until this day. In the Merovingian mythos, Tracy Twyman describes an ancient race of, quote, dragon kings possessing remarkable abilities. Their most striking feature was their capacity to, quote, shine like the sun, an attribute so intense that direct exposure could be overwhelming, even lethal. Jehovah, for instance, is described as a light being who shone so bright that Moses was forbidden to look at him directly, as it would cause him to die, and even Moses' face was said to be glowing after speaking with him. The luminosity of these beings emanated particularly from their powerful glowing eyes, earning them the title of the Shining Ones, or the Watchers. According to Twyman, their eyes facilitated telepathic communication by transmitting information as light beyond the normal range of human perception. Nicholas de Vere even goes as far as to say that these abilities allowed these kings to tap into a collective hive mind. This supernatural ability was also allegedly used to communicate with celestial bodies, which they considered to be extremely intelligent. This interestingly aligns with more modern scientific findings, indicating that planets constantly emit energy waves, including light, which can be tuned into using certain devices. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
Kids, hopefully, will never be smarter than AI. They will never grow up in a world where products and services are not incredibly smart, incredibly capable. They will never grow up in a world where computers don't just kind of understand you and do, for some definition of whatever you can imagine, It'll be a world of incredible material abundance. It'll be a world where the rate of change is incredibly fast and amazing new things are happening. And it'll be a world where individual ability, impact, whatever, is just so far beyond what a person can do today. I hope that my kids and all of your kids will look back at us with some pity and nostalgia and be like, they lived such horrible lives. They were so limited. The world sucked so much.
I mean, I hear what he's saying, but for some reason, his body language and his eyes kind of shift in a certain type of way where he's not 100% convinced the future's going to look like that. It seems more of like a hopefulness, you know what I mean? Let me know what you think.
Rarest souls walk the hardest roads because they weren't sent here to follow. They were sent to change everything. You've always felt different, haven't you? Not in a quirky or awkward way, but in a way that makes people either deeply drawn to you or weirdly threatened by you. It's like you're walking through life with some invisible force around you, making the world react to you in ways even you don't fully understand. And let's be honest, normal life never made sense to you. The rules, the expectations, the mindless routines, while others accept them without question, you've always had this unsettling knowing that there's more, that you were meant for something more. But here's the kicker. You're right. Scientists estimate that the odds of you existing exactly as you are, your DNA, your consciousness, your unique frequency, are 1 in 400 trillion. Let that sink in. You are literally rarer than winning the lottery 100 times in a row, being struck by lightning while holding a 4-leaf clover, and meeting an honest politician, all in the same day. So, if you're that rare, do you really think your life was meant to be average? The truth is, the world doesn't build statues for people who fit in. History doesn't remember the ones who followed the crowd. It remembers the ones who broke away from it. And that's exactly why your life has been different, why you've faced struggles most people wouldn't survive, and why deep down you know you are not like them. You are 1 in a billion, a chosen one. Number 1, you were never meant to belong. Your isolation is by design. You were never meant to belong, and deep down you've always known it. From an early age, there was this invisible barrier between you and the rest of the world. No matter how hard you tried to fit in, something always felt off. Conversations felt shallow. Social circles felt temporary. The things that excited other people left you feeling empty. It wasn't just that you were different. It was as if life itself was keeping you separate. Opportunities that came easily to others were blocked for you. Relationships that seemed effortless for them always ended in pain for you. Even in groups, you felt like an outsider looking in, like you were in the world but not of it. People could sense it too. Some admired you for it, but most didn't understand you. Some even resented you without knowing why. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't bad luck. This was by design. You were never supposed to walk the same path as everyone else. The universe isolates its rarest souls because they are the ones meant to shift reality itself. If you'd been allowed to fully blend in, you would have lost yourself in the noise. You would have been swallowed by mediocrity. But you weren't meant to be ordinary. You were meant to break the cycle, to bring something new into existence. That's why life has been stripping things away from you, people, comforts, even the illusion of stability. It's forcing you to stand on your own. It's training you for a path that most wouldn't survive. And here's the thing, the moment you stop fighting your isolation and start owning it, everything changes. You realize that what you thought was punishment was actually preparation. You weren't being left out. You were being set apart. Because the path of a chosen one isn't about fitting in, it's about building what's never existed before. Number 2, you are an anomaly in the code of reality. Most people go through life on autopilot. They follow the script they were given, go to school, get a job, settle down, retire, without ever questioning if it was written for them or imposed on them. They exist within the boundaries society has programmed into them, never pushing beyond what they've been told is possible. But you're different. You don't just live in the system, you disrupt it. You are an anomaly, an error in the code of reality itself. Where others accept things at face value, you question them. Where they conform, you resist. You see through illusions that others blindly accept as truth. And because of that, you trigger reactions in people that even they don't understand. Some are inspired by you, drawn to your energy, sensing that you represent something beyond the ordinary. Others, however, feel uneasy around you, even hostile, because your very presence challenges the foundations their lives are built on. This isn't something you chose to be, it's something you are. You disrupt patterns just by existing. Systems, beliefs, and people's comfortable delusions all start to crack when you're around. You expose what's hidden. That's why you've always felt like an outsider. Not because something is wrong with you, but because your very nature doesn't fit within the limits others accept. You don't think like them because your mind isn't bound by the same rules. You don't follow the same cycles because you were never meant to be trapped in them. You are wired differently. And that difference is not a weakness. It's your greatest strength. The world tries to force you into a mold it understands, but you were never designed to be understood by a world that runs on repetition. You weren't made to follow the code. You were born to rewrite it. Number 3, the universe tests you relentlessly because you carry divine DNA. Your struggles are not random. They never were. While others seem to float through life facing only the usual ups and downs, your path has been different.
Hey, I received every bit of that, man. He was cooking the whole time. Like, to the T. I definitely received that, man. Let me know what you thought about what he said. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam. Stay up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the internet. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.